Here's another example of the two-color flock process here. Indian motorcycle. It's more like a line drawing of the logo. And here's the Indian head. If you can see that, I'm not sure. It's very hard to see sometimes on the black. Just because of the lighting of the camera, that is. Fenwick, a nice eagle design here on white. And it's a nice subtle way to express a logo. And it's the same thing as you embroidery people are doing so much tone-on-tone embroidery. Oh, classic idea here. A little bit of puff ink and a lot of debossing. It says make tracks, and if you can see it, there's all kinds of different animal tracks on here. So it used up a good portion of the heat press, which on our machines are 16 by 18. And what you have is a really cool effect that was a hot seller. This was sold at the Discovery stores for a period of time at all the different airports and locations they had. This was a great program. This was actually polo jeans. Actually has a label in there too. It was retailing for $40, and it's such a simple, incredibly simple embossing, and it takes 10-12 seconds on a very nice high-end cotton, and I mean, it's not any more difficult than that, just very quick. Now, I told you that all embossing requires a backing. I wasn't lying when I'm showing you this piece, but this piece is 100% polyester, if I recall. 100% polyester. So it's a velour type product. It's a fitted tight shirt, and it's cut out at the back here, so we were just matching something up. But take a look here. You see that there's holes or the cavities? Because this is polyester, at the heat that we decorate this at, you'll never dry clean it at this temperature, and you never wash it, even at hot, at this temperature. So it'll last the lifetime of the garment, but only in this particular velour where it's 100% polyester. And the process is a male and female dye. So it's a bit tricky just to get it put together in terms of the dye is complicated, but it's a beautiful, gorgeous item. And that's, when I say tricky or complicated, it's something that when you send us the artwork we can do. Here's embroidery with a bit of PVC combined. Very simple foil transfer. This has an embroidery effect with a flock and a heat transfer to it, screen printed, so it's a multimedia effect. Here again is the flock effect, two color. We have all the primary colors available. Yet again, that crazy star dye, but just to show you that there's so much you can do with one dye in terms of name dropping. Here was a very cool effect. We took one of the previous dyes and we actually took a screen printed t-shirt, and by using a Teflon barrier we put a texture on the screen printed ink, because if the dye would hit the ink directly it would reactivate the ink and stick to the dye, but by putting the Teflon in there we created a texture onto the ink, and it's a 4-color mixed with embossing. So the screen printing is as fast as can be. Everybody knows how fast that process is, and add 10 more seconds and you have something that nobody else can touch in the marketplace. Oh, back to Algonquin Outfitters, and we had, like I said, a whole series. This one was the camper. I think there's a canoe, we had the feet, we had a gecko, and it was a Life Without Pavement series. So literally all the regulars that were going up there that went into this Outfitters store, they loved the whole series of shirts that were going on. And again, it was different every week. Here's again an embossing on a piqué. Wash sample again on Multimedia. Another one. This is one color name dropping, is for one of the shows that we did. Here we have that famous gecko, except this one is washed, and it's 3D because we actually put the texture of the gecko skin into the design. Here's a woman's training outfit, and we put, you can barely see it, but there is a backing inside here. This is a cotton polyester product, and it does stretch, no problem, and it does come back, and it was the Reebok logo, if you can see that. Okay, 3D, not 3D, excuse me, CAD cut flock. Inserted into an embossing die, and then to get a totally different image we did an outline on the same embossing die and just placed it in there. So it's a heat transfer flock. This is a classic example of how we make ourselves not compete with the rest of the market. We take a microfleece product and we do custom colors for the client, for example. When I say we teach our clients how to do this if they haven't done it. There's many cut and sew people throughout the country. And then we deboss on the panel or we deboss on the finished goods. If you're debossing on the finished goods, you just have to watch the plastic zipper. You can put a piece of Teflon there, and then you're set to go. So it's technically debossing in microfleece, and on a scientific way, I guess the best way to explain it is you're branding, you're branding the product very quickly. It's about a 10 or 11 second deboss. And that'll stay for the lifetime of the garment. It's just that the down area will start to get a little bit fluffy, but the raised area will always be higher. Now we go into denim, and the trick with denim is to use the 3mm boss back, but you need to do it on unwashed denim. So if I can show you this here, let me back up for 1 second. Here is a piece of unwashed denim. You see the USA flag on there. And what happens is when you stonewash the denim, you actually have the design, the raised areas wash harder from the stonewash, and therefore it comes and it appears, it comes out at you. And that's the beauty of denim. That's something that very few people can do. And I'll just go through some examples here. So with denim, we just need to find you a supplier, which we have a list, and you can actually do beautiful garments with the boss back in just a few seconds, but they do need to get stonewashed. So if you do this on the unwashed denim jacket, you won't see the design until it's stonewashed. The degree of the stonewash can be adjusted to your taste or to what the customer wants. Typically, you'll set it up. You can get a very, a worn look if you're looking for that. Okay, a heavier stonewash. Here we go with the airborne, military, and then you can get into some corporate logos. Just running out of a bit of space here. So there's so many different things that you can do here that are so impressive. Now I'm just going to switch over. I'm going to move the garments so I can get you the leather jackets. So now we have a finished leather jacket that we actually unzip the lining for. We buy or have made embroidery friendly or embossing friendly leather jackets, and they're unzipped from about here on the back all the way through the collar, and then we have a system on the machine where we can align the left chest and you can put in the logo. Some clients want a full back logo, and it's a terrific way to decorate. Now this is, I'll just be frank with you, this is where a lot of screen printers and embroiderers get afraid. The mentality that I've seen over the many years is that you're so used to decorating an item worth $3 or $15 that when you decorate an item worth $180 or more, it's just nerve-wracking, because what if there's a mistake? There's an easy system to follow, and there's a way to make corrections. If you follow the step-by-step procedure, it's almost impossible to make a mistake. This was done on a red jacket just as an eye-catcher at the trade shows. And I don't want you to associate everything to be a motorcycle wear, but this is on a suede, if you can see the Harley-Davidson logo on here. All the Harley-Davidson products are made, they're sold in North America, are made in North America. They're not made offshore. And then we put a patch with that US flag on here as well. So you need to understand that we are going to teach you methods and ways to market to your current clients. Instead of selling them always a t-shirt, why don't you sell them a high-end item and make $80 profit on a leather jacket as opposed to a few dollars on a t-shirt? All right, so there's systems we have in place that can help you very easily emboss on items that are very expensive. I have a few caps, and I don't know how it's going to show up in the light. This one says "Just Do It" with a little embroidered check mark. This one has, it's a 6-panel cap. It has the Jeep tracks on it right over here. This is a nailhead heat transfer on a 5-panel cap, but the panel at the front is also curved down. It's not like the Farmer Special. This is on a visor here with the Boss Back logo right in the dead center. Then you also, I've just found something here, pretty simple. four-wheeling. This was just done up by one of my clients where we took that embossing track again and then we embroidered four-wheeling, or we embroidered emboss. And in this case, we embroidered first and embossed second.